Alrighty.
We're live now.
We are live.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. We are now live at the launch party. Woo! Turf party for Turf Pride, watch party. And here we go.
Hello, hello. All right. Oh, sorry. All right. Turf Pride press release from media release. Share wide. Turf Pride, New York City. Gender critical lesbian take the L out of LGBT. On Saturday and Sunday, July 22nd and 23rd, gender critical women from all across the country will take to the streets of New York City to speak up against gender ideology. Our aim is to reclaim gay pride for homosexual women and push back against forced teaming with the trans and queer community, whom are in direct contradiction to LGBT pride. Saturday, July 22nd, gender critical women will take to the streets of Times Square to do street interviews in an effort to engage the public and get public comment about gender ideology and pride. Sunday, July 23rd at 2:30 in front of the UN building, women will take turns giving short speeches about how gender identity has harmed them and their communities in a live stream that will be featured on the YouTube channel A Slightly Twisted Female. All during the month of June, corporations and organizations across our great nation repeated mantras related to Pride everywhere we saw the acronym LGBTQIA+, along with the inclusive flag that includes trans colors. But what if I told you that the L in the acronym, which stands for lesbian, never wanted to be forced to team with other letters such as T for transgender and Q for queer? In fact, these two groups actively threaten the hard-won rights, spaces, and privileges afforded to lesbians in society, as well as the very identity of a lesbian, which is an adult, homosexual, human female. As the world grows ever captured by trans and queer fanaticism, lesbians feel more and more marginalized and pushed out of their own community. Lesbian spaces have been infiltrated and taken over by trans-identifying men who claim to be women, more commonly known as trans women. Lesbians are told that they must accept trans-identifying males into their dating pool and are often coerced into having sexual relationships with these males, something we recognize as the cotton ceiling, where trans-identifying males see it as a goal to push past the boundaries of male exclusionary lesbian women. Additionally, the lesbian community has been ravaged by the ill effects of gender ideology that has pulled many gender non-conforming lesbians, particularly butch lesbians, towards identifying as men. Too many young lesbians are participating in self-harm through sex reassignment surgery and male hormones. On Sunday, we will gather to say enough. The forced teaming of lesbian women with trans-identifying males and to the internalized homophobia of trans-identifying females that are taking a stand for lesbian pride. The event is organized by Vf555 of Female First Florida and Brittany Rue Ortiz of YouTube channel A Slightly Twisted Female. All media can contact Brittany Rue at aslightlytwistedfemale@gmail.com for
Hello.
hello.
I don't know what's going on the screen.
Oh, hello. Oh. Am I reading it now?
No.
I just read it during the things. Why should I read it now?
I'm just like, why am I not seeing us?
Do you see me?
I see you black. Okay, Kiki. You know how to fix this?
I only see myself. For some reason, I just see, this is Brittany speaking. I see myself. I don't know if that's me or...
Can you hear me?
Okay, let me try this.
Oh, there we go.
Hello. Thank you, everybody. We're here. to start the party off. And I'll get you I'm sorry loud. You need to read that.
Did you guys hear me?
I did.
Okay, good. I was like, because then I looked down, it looked like my mic was muted. I was like,
Oh my god.
I was like, oh fuck. Okay, good. I did my job then.
You did a real job.
Great, thank you.
Hi, Stone.
You've got an echo on the right.
I've noticed. Oh god.
If there's an echo, you need to put on headphones.
Oh. I'll find something.
No. I mean, Stone needs to put on headphones.
Oh,
Stone. If you're hearing an echo, you need to
There
put
is
on
an
headphones.
echo because somebody has the. I think it's playing on somebody's computer.
Oh,
So your needs to be paused.
Is that better?
No. Wait, maybe try again.
I don't know. Testing.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, such a big portion of launching a new channel is going through a lot of technical difficulties, and you're very brave to start off a new channel with a live stream. It took me like a few months to be willing to brave into live stream territory. All my stuff was pre-recorded. So no, trust me, within like a month you'll have this so down.
Okay, great. Are you ready for the show?
Yes, I sure am.
Okay. Let's.
Oh, yeah, that's so cute. I love it. Congratulations. I love it. This better be like your signature. I want to see like these presentations throughout your future videos too. Yeah, good. I love it. Awesome.
I'm in the show.
Yes, you are.
Oh, hey, Poonam. How are you?
Hey, hi, Vf. How are you?
I'm here.
I was trying to get in on my laptop, but I couldn't, so I'm on my phone.
Okay. That's
Oh, Poonam, it's so good to see you.
Great to see you. Yes.
Poonam and I, we've met several times. We met at the first Philadelphia thing, and then Poonam was in the DC. Weren't you at DC too, or you were in both Philadelphia? You were at you were at Kelly J. Keen's Philadelphia tour. But where else did we spend time?
Brittany. We see. I have a back. I have a echo in my telephone.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to speak slowly. I'm not retarded.
We know.
Brittany, it seems like we meet a lot of times, but we met once, and then there was your live, and I was in Texas during your live, and that's and we spoke on the phone during your live, and I think that's what you're thinking about, your first live.
Is that my phone that lost connection?
No. I hear you.
Or did we? Okay, sorry. I lost connection for a little bit.
Your video's down.
Is it still down?
Yeah.
No.
I want to see your lovely.
Well, that's okay. As long as you can hear me. It just completely lost connection. But Poonam,
But I'm really happy to be part of this, group and that we're talking to each other like this. Yeah.
Yeah, Turf Pride started on Signal and expanded. There was like 20 women. We're gonna go to New York. But you know how it goes. I am glad that women. That's what. I'm really sorry about that. Well, let me see.
Can I ask for a favor? Can you send me this invite on my email?
I already sent you an invite.
I mean, I have this invite on my phone, but if you could invite me on my email, I won't have this back.
I think
echo.
saying that she might have sent one already. Is that right?
I don't see it. I think you might have my email address wrong.
Send it to yourself.
Oh yeah, Poonam, you can email it to yourself. That's true. Just take what
Oh, that's true. Oh God, I'm an idiot. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I like to keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
So Vf555 are in this amazing bathroom. We're in Hogwarts right now in New York City. We're literally the coolest. We are in New York City and we are on the eve of what is going to be a historical event. And we're literally in Hogwarts. And stay tuned because Terf Pride, first annual Terf Pride is about to kick off and it's going to be amazing. See you tomorrow.
Oh, it was a lot of fun, you guys. And actually, I have more videos that I should probably put up too. Like when we went to that park was really cool. That is definitely a highlight. That's one of my. It was really cool, and this is what we want it to be annually. A time where women who probably recognize each other from video and in social media spaces and sort of online can actually have a place to gather and do some activism, but have fun and connect and actually enjoy life a little bit. Right. It was fun.
Okay, babies. Sorry.
And we are here with a woman who was thrown out of the Dyke March for wearing a t-shirt that literally states what being a lesbian is. Apparently can't do that anymore. You want to tell the story a little bit?
Well, it was a friend of mine wearing it, and this happened back in 2019. We decided why not go to the Dyke March and represent, and
for lesbians, right? Because you'd assume being a Dyke March and all, it would be lesbians would be involved.
So they saw the shirt and went wild, and then our friend Claire, she had a banner that said Stormy DeLavere, a black female homosexual, started Stonewall. Big banner, pulled it out. They went even crazier. They came with a giant trans flag, and they were trying to block it, block anyone from seeing it, and not letting us walk. And if we could walk, they were following us or just getting in our way. And then we didn't even want to be in the march at that point, but even if we wanted to, they formed a human chain fence of linking arms, and they stayed there the whole time while the parade disappeared. It's we made them miss their own march. So all to prevent us from being a part of it.
This is what happens. This is why we say get the L out. Lesbians clearly are not included. Lesbians are not included in the movement that they founded and created, which is Pride, which is why we're giving birth to a new Pride.
All of that happened right here where we are right now, Bryant Park.
This is Bryant Park, New York City.
Gynecologists I did a space with Vf555. So
This is where it is, and this is, and because they did this to our sister, this is our
Twitter,
response.
X, or what are we calling it now? X? Like it's
Adult human females, adult human males who are tired of this.
I'm going to be posting that on my channel.
A lesbian is an adult female homosexual. We are not transing away butch lesbian.
Dignity and identity of
we are not cutting off the healthy body parts of lesbian women. Say no to puberty blockers. Say no to cross-sex hormones for gender non-conforming women.
Trans-identifying males are good to breastfeed.
Tired of it. This woman had every right to be in the Dyke March. But men who dress up as women decided that they have a stronger voice. And they get to decide who's the lesbian. We say enough. We're creating a new pride and it starts in July. Children are not born in the wrong bodies. That's right.
Well, thank you for that.
I love it.
Great to follow on that. Lesbians.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, Vf555. It was literally. Terf event was like one of the funnest things I've had in a while, and I really expected to grow, and it was such a pleasure to do this work with you. You were great start to finish, totally professional. Like I would totally plan another event with you. You know, you had a lot of things that were starting to fall apart in the clutch, but you just came through, and I think that speaks, like volumes of your commitment to seeing through what you started. So I loved it. Loved hanging out. I hope to see you guys so soon. We're definitely going to be doing this every year. So, Terf Pride July. Look for it. Yep, Dr. Gallagher, and that's next. Yep. So you'll be hearing details of that very soon. But ladies, it was such an honor. I'm so sorry I could not stay for much longer, but I really wanted to check in and visit with you guys. Stone, Kiki, and Poonam whenever she gets back. It was so good to see you guys and chat with you guys. And I'll be watching the replay tomorrow on Packing.
Thank you so much.
Bye guys. Love you. Bye BF. Love you guys.
Ciao. Okay, everybody. Do we have echo now?
Looks like we don't.
Okay, so it was Birdie's channel that brought in the echo.
Maybe.
Maybe I might switch back to my mic rather than this one.
Okay.
We still good?
We're still good.
Yeah, I don't have a.
Now I can't hear you.
Nice.
Well, I'd like to mention that Stone also held her own Terf Pride event, and she's here to tell us more about it. When her mic starts up, of course.
There we go. We're good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, good. Thank you. Awesome.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You want to tell us about your Terf Pride event?
Awesome. Sorry?
Yeah, we want to hear about your Terf Pride event.
Oh, okay. So we decided we'd do something a little different down here. And we had a bit of a picnic and a barbecue, sort of a turf slam jam, poetry / whatever your jam was. So we've got a lady that did a version of a Dr. Seuss poem done from a gender critical perspective, which was really, really fun. And I thought I would dust off my belly dance sword and my rusty self, and I did a dance to that Savage Woman song.
Would you like to see it right now?
Oh, you've got it. Okay.
Yes, I do have it for our audience.
But I am rusty and I'm old, but here you go.
No. We want to see it right now. It's a great addition to the screen.
Let's do it.
Music on 3. Yeah.
There it is. I love the song.
It's a great song.
Dancing of fire and the curve of old bones.
I liked hearing when Amy Sousa and I think it was Gabrielle Clark and somebody else maybe who sang that in Port Townsend. It was
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. It's just such a beautiful song. And,
it
you
is.
know, I thought about doing, you know, what do I do for my jam? Because I love, is it Aja that over in the UK? And thought about doing one of her poems. And I haven't danced since before COVID. So I thought, no, I'll dust off the sword and see how I go. It's a fun thing. Um, but it stayed on my head, which is always good. It's always a good event when the sword stays where you put it. But I miss dancing, you know. This is one of the things I would rather be doing than turfing, you know. But
Why
how
not
can
do
we do
both?
that?
Why not bring it to the Terps?
Well, that's it. I think we're
Turf
going to take
dance.
this underground now, you know. Maybe do underground retreats and underground workshops, and that's the way that we keep it for only women, hey?
Yeah, I love hearing multiple female voices singing this. Obviously, female voices, but still, I love hearing multiple voices at once. It gives me chills when women get together, and
Yeah, the layering of their
Mhm.
voices is just
Yep,
beautiful. So yeah, no, I thought
this
no,
is
we'll do a
awesome.
little bit of a dance, and that's my little what I brought to our little turf jam was
We need.
dust off
Okay.
the sword.
Oh, I have an idea. I want you to teach me this. I want you to teach me this little dance, and I want to do. I think we should all do our own little rendition
Yeah,
of the
why not?
dance, and then we cut it together, and
Yes.
like a
Oh,
montage of
yes.
us all doing a little dance with that song, and yeah, we should do that
A
and cut it
turf,
together.
yes. You've seen some of them done with the reenactors. You know, they
Yeah,
show their little no, and then they do like the makeup brush sort of thing. They
yeah,
sort of pass it along. I reckon we could do something like that for
that would be
sure.
awesome. Yeah,
That would be awesome,
We should
wouldn't
do more
it?
as a community, like, together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
How special would that be, you know, to be able to just do a little and smash it together? I
mm-hmm.
did something like that for Kelly J. Keane when she
Mm,
did the
yep,
Australian things. You know how she does her
yeah,
um her, her turf song where everyone joins in and says turf, and I sort
yes.
of smashed it together so
I
that
loved that. Oh, I remember.
yeah,
Yeah, I totally watched
yeah.
that. I loved it. It was so great. Super
Yeah,
excited.
I thought, how do I do it in a way that instead of just sharing where I'm from Brisbane, instead of just sharing that bit, how can I make it, you know? And I thought, no, I really, you know, just through your old movie maker on your iPad, and there you go. You know, you've made a nice. I reckon we could do that. Hey,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it might be a really nice turf mantra, not mantra, theme song. Is that what you said, V, a second ago?
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah,
theme song. It's a
yeah,
smash hit. Like
turf hit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and she does. She
very
repeats
wildly out
that
there.
same bit over and over again. So
yeah,
we could make something that's quite simple, little choreography that
yeah.
it could be done.
That's what I wanted. That's that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll contact you so that you can send me a
Yeah,
couple
we'll
We
work
all
on
know
that.
we need to learn the words. We all need to learn the words together.
of
So when we go
That's
out there,
it.
we got it. It's jam.
Yep.
I
That's
also want to
it.
share the poetry that they did that you shared with me. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in the chat actually.
oh great.
Yeah. So yeah, play it.
I'm playing it for her then.
Oh.
Actually, Rita from Sky News had posted it, and she asked chat CPT AI to write a Dr. Seuss poem that is also a persuasive explanation of why trans women are men. So here's how it came out. It came out actually pretty good. I see your hair. It's a wig. Your Adam's apple still looks big. You are a man, and that is clear. I do not see a woman here. I must admit it's rather odd to say you're now abroad. You have no uterus, so no. You cannot bleed from down below. I do not like your padded bra. You should not use the women's spa. You should not, you tell me you had surgery. Your pronouns are still him and he. Your chromosomes are X and Y. That means you'll always be a guy.
Oh,
You
God.
gave yourself a girly name. Does that now mean you're a dame? A surgeon chopped
Can
your
you
eggs
hear
and
me?
ham. I still won't call you ma'am. I am.
That was great.
Now, how good's that? Do
Yeah,
you
that
see?
was
You see
amazing.
what we've done to keep it
The
on
show.
the down low? We've put some
Oh,
balloons up
nice.
and our flags up, so we sort of look like we're a party in the park rather than, an activist event. So we want to continue doing that sort of once every 3 months and have a big one for
Annually,
the Turf Pride in July. Hey,
Perfect.
Finnan.
I think we should do seasonal events like Halloween, Mother's Day. I mean, there's definitely events to go turf hard.
I have
Absolutely.
a poem.
You would like to share a poem?
I have a poem. Yes, I have a poem that I'm working on. I've posted it on my Facebook page. I
Well,
can read you. I can
we
read
share it now.
the current version.
Okay, we're down. You take turf pride with us.
Ladies, I am so happy to be here. It was so hard to get here today. I was a little tired. I'm a little tired because I have a peripheral neuropathy and evenings are really hard on me, but I'm very happy to be here. I think I'm in the Northeast, but I'm willing to move around for this. And I just spoke to some young women who are here in this house where I'm dog sitting, and they're all with us. They're all with us. I talked
That's good to
to.
hear.
Can you
More
hear me?
young women are waking up every day.
More and more young women are waking up. There's a lovely woman downstairs named Rose, who is a friend of my friend's daughter. These girls are like 20. They don't want to have anything to do with this. I spoke to her mother, told her about our gender critical movement. She's there. There's more of us that are really on the same page than we can ever.
Bring them out.
We are going to bring them out. We are going to bring them out. So I'm going to read you my poem.
Yes, please.
Right now. It's called, working title, A Cut Up Generation. A war is on in the 21st century against breasts, penises too. They want to take sex and give you a choice that is not true. Not everything is a choice. You can only be you. Think of what Monsanto has done to the seeds that allow all animals and us humans to feed. Now farmers must run to corporate stores to buy what nature provided before. They have cut off the source. King Solomon looked out in the days of old upon a conflict that you may know and said, the baby will be cut and shared between the two. Mother love did not allow that. Cut to her birthed living flesh, and everyone saw the truth. A cut is eternal, never undone. Once cut, always once cut. Healed or gangrened for years, but cut because cut. A 21st century war is on against breasts, against sex, against penises too. The established experts want to take sex, your sex, all sex, away from you. They want to cut you if you are a girl who likes blue or a boy with a passion for pearls. Let's recall Monster Monsanto in the 1990s with the seeds that once flowed like water and let us all feed. Now farmers must run to corporate sites and stores to heed the call of nature. The season of planting, it's captured evermore. Puberty too is in the crosshair, y'all. The development of flesh, of brain, of blood, of adulthood and personhood, of bones, of thought, decision making,
of something no one can truly fully explain. Yet now it's called a choice. Blocking is allowed. Drugs used for sex offenders and cancer patients. Cut puberty. Cut a piece of a cake, not even half baked. The medical industrial complex stands strong, feeding Lupron and exogenous estrogen, pissed from pregnant horses' pee to harm healthy flesh for profit, for the scheme, for an untested notion and defiance of reality. With fervor, right, and slogans, some have grown to young adulthood to be bodied with osteoporosis, blood pressure, brittle bones, and they just can't breathe, no lung capacity, gone the strength of bones, self-knowing, gone the intact brain and brawn. They will cut you. It's all right, they say. You can change your sex. What is your sex? Change your sex today. Yet will you ever function that way? They will not say. We see a growing ocean of the non-functional, the disabled, unhappy, sold a fantasy of disease on a troubled self over revealed destiny, available from big pharma's labs and the minions of doctors in their wings, filling their coffers, touching you up for life from the drop-down menu of E or T and their spectrum of designer body cosmetic surgery. You'll never function fully. You'll never function fine. But we are what we see. That's what they say. Judge that book by the cover. They want to cut your flesh, cut you away from uncertainty with some made-up myth of knowing, rights of needles, rights of hospitals, rights of pronouns, changing language. They want to cut you away from who you might be. So you never mature naturally for the trigger of some gun, some word, normalcy, and a happiness that never, ever proves to be enough. Refusing you romance, the chance of discovery, revelation, autonomy. You will be cut. They will cut you. They want to see you die 1,000 deaths trying to be a figment of your imagination, a fixed point of view at the time of the appointment when you were seen, a body that fits with an idea. I'm gonna skip the rest. But yeah, that's my poem in progress, and I'm trying to.
It's great. It's great.
Thank you for sharing.
Well, it is it is a work
Brilliant.
in progress. I'm happy to share, and I hope you liked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that's what we have to fight this thing with reality and with history and with the knowledge of what we've seen them do before, time and time again, take away what is ours and offer us like a rubber dolly or a plastic box.
I mean, they're taking what's natural from you and selling you this like artificial bullshit that don't function. It makes you sick. It's like
that makes you sick.
Exactly. Disabled. These children are not growing up with like their brains working. For goodness sake, we are totally like it's a massive.
Literally, like they're literally being permanently damaged by these.
Stunted their growth. Just stunting them.
It's stunting their brain
growth of a body part, but nothing could be further from the truth.
And that's what they're trying to do. They want they don't want people to be able to procreate. They want to take over procreation. They want
no price tag on your health. There's no price tag on your future. There's no price that's worth paying that.
Yeah. And they're taking away your most intimate privacy. That's what really kills me, is that they're fiddling around with the bodies of 12-year-old girls and mastectomies and 14-year-old girls and and boys with vaginoplasty. It's plastic. It's wrong. Yeah.
Can you believe that this is what we're talking about? This is what we're talking about.
Can we believe?
Who thought this 20 years ago would be a problem that a whole generation of teenagers would just jump on, and their parents would be like, "This is affirming care."
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They sold this to us way
And
too well.
doctors would be like, "Oh, this is what we need to do,"
and nobody's questioning it.
Here's something I've been thinking about. You know those Transformers and all those things, those movies that they kept showing us? I think that they were prepping.
Yep.
I think they were prepping our minds. Like, you know, I think they really have turned us into Mr. Potato Head or something like that. You know, like exchangeable parts, and they've tried to make it.
We're not meat Legos, man. We're not meat Legos.
Yeah. We're not meat Legos. We're not souls in a meat sleeve, as Lansing likes to say.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a double thing with the Transformers and the whole Marvel sort of thing.
Yes.
It's really getting into the head of the adults, and it's keeping us juvenile and not moving past that. You know, there was that big thing that was a few years, I'm over adulting, or I don't want to grow up, or ungrow up. And I seen that on a thing, it was the Donut King, ungrow up, and I'm like, you know, there's a real, if you look at that, you know, the Transformers was marketed to adults all over again. The Spider-Man, you know, they just keep bringing that sort of over and over, regurgitating that particular. I
never put that together. But you're right, because they do really keep people.
And Pikachu and all of those other things too.
Yeah. Well,
we're infantilized. We're not encouraged to think critically. We're not encouraged to think about what's going on. Just consume, shut up and consume all of our products and all of our messaging, and then we get slowly warped. You know, we're getting slowly warped.
Well, look at Pikachu, right? They evolve. They evolve. You know, you catch them, you feed them, and they evolve. And Pikachu's character doesn't get to evolve.
Exactly.
His trainer stunts him, right? Like his trainer stunts him. Pikachu doesn't get to turn into, I think it's that lizard dragon thingy, Charmander or whatever it is. My son used to be into it. But he's like stunted at the Pikachu level, and he doesn't get to evolve along his pathway where he should be. He's like literally stunted by his handler.
I've noticed all our cartoons getting more babyish. Have you not? Like every single cartoon that we used to have that used to teach you lessons, nowadays is just a baby talking to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also the dumbing down, like, I mean, Stone, you're in Australia, but the dumbing down of the United States of America and the dumbing down of our democracy, like by just like saying, are you red or are you blue? Instead of like giving us, you know, like questions to answer, like, what are we going to do about the homeless population? You know, that now you just have to like, oh, what is my team saying? You know, and then
it's really polarizing the brain too of people. You either for this or you're against this. You know what I mean? That real, like you said, with the political thing, the red pill or the blue pill sort of deal.
The red pill, the blue pill, the what's that Matrix movie?
Yeah,
They
that was definitely by Troons. Poor Troons.
Yes.
And both the Swarovski brothers and sisters now, don't forget.
Yes.
Well, I like to share more of our speeches from.
It says Jazz Jennings doesn't seem to be functional adult, stunted by his mother forever, codependent on her. And that's another thing. That's another thing, that this kind of absurd power that parents can have, and also the total stripping of parental power at the same time, that, you know, these laws that we'll do whatever we want with the kids, as anything that goes along with the trans agenda. You know what I'm trying to say here?
Everything else is hate speech. Simple as that. They want to silence everybody who has any opinion that doesn't sell more, you know, big pharma victims.
Yes. Made by trans for troons. No wonder I didn't like the Matrix. Yep. That's Little Cat. Hello, Little Cat. We have Little Cat. We have Chris. We have
lots of lovely ladies in the chat. Thank you
Firebird.
so much.
Firebird.
And Abel, hello, Abel. Hey from Australia.
Abel, so good.
But I do have to share the rest of the videos, you know, for our live stream of the event.
Yeah. They have. Yes. Okay.
Hello and welcome to Turf Pride, New York City. This is hopefully the first annual Turf July. We are, so the camera's facing this way.
Great.
You know, for those who know, Pride was originally a riot that started off in honor of lesbian, gay, and bisexual Americans, which is a real, tangible human being. This is something that exists. Since then, lesbians in particular, gay and bisexual, have been forced teamed with the T and the Q, trans and queer. These are identities. These are not tangible. These are not based in any sort of reality. These are not based in any sort of biological reality. These are a mythological religious belief. These women right here standing behind me, and so many more across the world who are tuning in from places like Australia, Ireland, England, the United Kingdom, all across America, from coast to coast, who are tuning in and listening, stand together in solidarity with our lesbian sisters, our gay brothers, our bisexual brothers and sisters, to say enough of the forced teaming with trans and queer identities, which are based on a religious belief, who are doing more harm to the homosexual community than we've seen in a long time.
That's right.
Young lesbian women and girls are mutilating their bodies because they're told that there is something wrong with them if they don't want to wear the dress, that there is something wrong with a little boy who wants to wear flowers in his hair. He must need to be castrated. We say enough. Protect the tomboys. Protect the effeminate boys. Protect children of all, for boys and girls, people of all ages, the freedom to experiment, to figure out who they are without being told that they need to undergo surgeries to remove healthy body parts that will leave lasting scars on them, prevent them from living life, experiencing pleasure to the fullest, from creating the families that they may one day want, that as 12-year-old children, they may not have the foresight to understand that they might want that when they're 30 years old. Give these kids a chance. These women behind me, they stand together in solidarity, arm in arm. In solidarity for our lesbian sisters, our gay brothers, our bisexual brothers and sisters, but particularly lesbian women. The spaces of lesbian women have been ripped out from us. The last lesbian bar was closed down in Philadelphia. The last Philadelphia lesbian bar was closed down 2 years ago. There's plenty of gay bathhouses. There's plenty of gay bars. Why are women being pushed to the side? And the reason why that we want to particularly choose lesbian women as a guest of honor, as who we want to highlight for the first ever Turf Pride, it is because lesbian women have been sounding the alarm on the trans problem for 1960s and 70s, and we didn't listen. We ignored them. We shoved them off to the side well enough. We honor our sisters today. You have been sounding the alarm. You created the gender critical movement. It's not the conservatives. It wasn't Matt Walsh. It was lesbian women who stood up and said, enough. It is time for the day of reckoning to come. They are the ones who deserve this honor. We thank you for all you've done. You are the grandmothers of this movement.
Okay, I like to take a break between like all our speeches and stuff to just like talk about what we heard. How about that?
Yeah. Well, Brittany's on fire. Hey, I love the way she can project her
so
voice.
Much energy. She's like you. She shouts it out.
Yeah.
The attention of the crowd.
I love it. Yeah. She doesn't need a megaphone. I love that stuff. She's just
can I address this a little bit? Because when in the 90s when they added the Q and the T, and it's funny, it's funny because Q and T together is QT, and there was nothing cute about them. But when they added the Q and the T, they sold us a lie that we're all going to be under this umbrella. And the minute human beings are herd animals, the minute you say we're all going to be together, we have this false sense of safety, you know? And so we didn't think about it. I think back to, like using the word queer. I will never use the word now. I haven't used it in this century. But when it first came out, I used it. And I was very, looking back, I can see what happened to me, how they sucked me in without, like kind of like slipping inside my lesbian world, because lesbians and gays, let's be very clear, and bisexuals are not one big happy family. We're very separate. During AIDS, is when the lesbians helped the gay community, and the gay community, the old folks recognize that. But we have never been just, women are different than men. Lesbians are different than gay men. Bisexuals are their own bisexuals, but we're all like something natural and that comes from ourselves. Then they bring in queer, which is their creation, kind of like making man in their image. But and that's my reflection on it.
Well, thank you for that. It was a total takeover when they came to our community and started adding all these letters, this nonsense that is actually homophobic and erases us.
Yep.
I mean, it is such a shame that that's what happened to us. And that's why Turf Pride has to take back pride for lesbians, women, and girls. I mean, they've been erasing us ever since this was conceived by a bunch of pedophiles, some billionaires who wanted to push this agenda.
Absolutely.
I like to continue with the speeches. Anyone else has something to add before I do? Kiki?
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay.
I'm so used to typing.
That's awesome.
And so first up, we want to call our first speaker. Who wants to go first?
As a lesbian New Yorker, I want to talk about the New York City Dyke March. I went to the march back in 2019 with a group of women. One of us was wearing a t-shirt with the definition of lesbian on it, because, it's the Dyke March. Lesbian, adult human female. Sorry, someone texted me. No, not welcome here. Trans rights activists and organizers of the march were all over us immediately when they saw it, stepping on our feet, not letting us walk or exist. They also didn't approve of our banner stating Stormy DeLavery, a black female homosexual, started Stonewall. Personally, I believe Marilyn Fowler started the riot. Look her up. You'll find that she's the only female name on the police report. Regardless, it was a woman. Definitely not Marsha or Sylvia. Well, we were barred. They didn't let us through, and at that point, we didn't want to be part of it. Casted out for being transphobes, actual lesbians. Meanwhile, there were signs like, "We'll suck dick for the revolution," present. In the words of Lynn Farley, a lesbian rights activist writer and the woman who coined the term sexual harassment, I've been in this movement since 1969. I marched in the first Christopher Street Liberation Day March. It's important to remember, and I think this is the time to do it, that it was a woman, a lesbian woman, who refused to get in the paddy wagon at the Stonewall and started the Stonewall riots, and where the movement all began. And it started with lesbians. I also want to say that it was a lesbian group that led the first march up Fifth Avenue on a sunny Sunday afternoon for all the world to see. Now, year after year, since that first march, women have to fight for their place in line. We are not recognized in our own movement. We are invisible. And part of what this rally is all about today is to show ourselves and the world that we've been the leaders of this movement all along, and that, damn it, we're going to stand up and take our own rights into our own hands from now on. That was spoken in the 70s. What changed? Nothing's changed. When are women going to finally take our own rights into our own hands? We all know what a lesbian and woman is. Some people forgot, so I'm glad we're all here to remind them. Our bathrooms aren't places for men to jerk off in. Our prisons weren't meant for us to get pregnant in. Our sports weren't meant for mediocre men to compete in. Our dyke marches weren't supposed to center straight men. Thank you.
Before I continue, I want to give a special thanks to VF555. She is the person. She is the reason we're standing here today. Things were kind of getting messed up with this a little bit, but she forged through. So big, huge shout out and thank you.
Well, before this continues, I'd like to talk about how organizing works. And it's very hard to get a group of women to go out and speak. First of all, because women are afraid, sadly. But I proved that you can go to like New York, the wokest ville of them all, and get a group of women who are strangers together to do this. There's no more excuses.
I've heard it once said that organizing TERFs can be like herding
Cats. Well, they say that about women because they want to keep us from getting together. I will push back against that.
Yes.
But it was an amazing experience. I met so many lovely women, and it's totally worthwhile. I do not regret any of it. The headaches, the heartbreaks, none of it. It was totally something I'm proud of.
Hey, Excelansic.
Hey, TT, is she in this place?
Yep.
Hello.
TT, hi, Excelensic.
Hey.
Hey.
It's so great to see so many women show up.
I want to tell you, when I was at the New York Let Women Speak, the KJK event where KJK did not make it past the police lines, I interviewed the women. The women were standing strong. Women can stand together. Women
So
can
brave.
hold hands. And women work very well together. We work on a very deep, complex level, and we work. Yeah.
Even though we're not getting the money that Matt Walsh and the men are getting, we still come together and fight in spite of everything. It is our movement. Don't let the men tell you it's not. We are the leaders of this.
And don't be looking for a leader in the movement. Be the leader. Just go out and get 5 or 10 women. Do it.
Yep. Find your buddy. Just one buddy, one mate, one buddy, 2 buddies, 3
that's
buddies.
a great idea. That's a great idea, Stone. We can have a campaign for like turf buddies. Yeah.
Turf tag team partner, you know?
Turf tag team, yeah.
Well, this was my first tag team partner. Then there's Kiki, and now there's you guys.
Oh, that's it. You know, we gotta tag each other in.
That been here with me through the whole thing.
And then we can deepen our relationships and talk to each other a bit more and have like, and that's what it is to be female, right? Versus being male. It's like not just this surface level, stuff like red or blue. We go deep and we're like, and sometimes that hurts our feelings because we touch, but we can go there. Yeah.
And then that's why it does hurt, because we are passionate.
Yeah.
We're
deeply passionate.
We opinionated group. It does happen.
That's exactly
people
right.
Butt heads. But I find that if you're gonna keep on going, people will support you regardless.
Yes, we stick to reality. We stick to the facts. Nature is not always pretty. It's not. Nature is not Barbie.
No, it's not. It's sticky. It's sticky, ugly, smelly.
Sometimes, yeah.
Look, I think women are sugar and spice and everything nice. And then you have chemical X. Who knows?
Yes.
We don't need women on hormones. I gotta tell you that.
And that's just it. Again, we have our hormones. We're born with our hormones. We're born with the perfect hormone making machine. And then we're going to go to some horse and take their piss?
No. What? You definitely don't need that.
I'll pass on the horse piss. Thanks. Cheers, mate.
I think that's for men anyway.
I have to say to Kiki, I really love that the backdrop that you did for VF.
It is amazing.
Thank you.
Always like
I have a lot of fun wasting time on playing with graphics until it's right ish.
Perfectionist. And it just
gorgeous with the skill.
Yeah, well, I'll make you a background too. I'm happy to make everybody background.
That's what I was waiting to hear.
You're gonna have a nonstop job of doing graphics for the rest of the turban.
I'll be making things for backgrounds for Terf backgrounds Inc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody should do a spreadsheet with our skill sets, and then we can share.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea for networking and really, trying to find everybody's strong suits and so that we can network and collaborate a little more and really help each other out more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
For other things as well, because I actually do a turf yoga. I join a turf twice a week and do her online yoga class, and it is freaking brilliant. It is freaking brilliant. Love it.
Candy, right?
I can go down the road and I could go support the local guy Steve down the road who is dripping with ego, even though he says he's not. Or I can take that same money and give it to a fellow turf and do yoga with them, you know. So it doesn't always have to be completely turf related. Some turfs have skills that we can learn from each other that we can benefit in every single day. Now, I don't know. I would love to be able to drop who I'm doing yoga with.
I think we should share that.
I would love other people to go do yoga with them. I'm going to say, I'm sure that if I'm in trouble, I'm just going to get in trouble. But I do yoga with Rex Landy, and it is the freaking bomb. Rex Landy's yoga is absolutely. She calls it everyday yoga, and I've gotten stronger from doing it. So, you know, go hit Rex up and ask her what time she does a yoga and see if you can get on.
Can we put the details on a banner for the people or something, or however, or?
I just for the next one.
Or the next one, I don't know.
It's hard to say the time because I do it at 2 p.m. my time, which is like 4 p.m. Rex's time because she's in New Zealand. So it's hard to say. So the best thing to do is go hit up Rex Landy and see if you can get into her yoga because it's fantastic. But that's what I mean. Kiki's got some graphic art skills.
Kiki's got graphic. And let me tell you guys, I got something called Reiki. If you've ever heard of it. So I'm very happy to share my Reiki.
I read tarot. Everybody's got we've got mad skills.
We got mad skills. I mean, Excellensic has that knowledge of the human body, and and
I'm the most weird femme that's ever existed.
But there used to be Gender Mapper. Is Gender Mapper still around?
Gender Mapper's still going.
So I think we need to map things out too. I would like to see a map of like where the gender clinics are in the US.
Well, that's what Gender Mapper put out. I mean,
on their website.
I never read it. Sorry.
It's in the meme.
It's in the meme.
Anyway.
I feel like I'm failing this class already. Okay.
But no, it's definitely just I suppose getting our head around that idea that if we need something done, maybe instead of just going and looking up online, maybe think what fellow turf may have that skill that we could help them out. Because we're getting cancelled, we're losing our jobs. So if we can
Turf Yellow Pages.
Yeah. If we can support a turf, rather than say somebody that someone that won't print shirts or whatever, we'll seek that within our turban first. If we can get our head around thinking that way, I think it'll definitely the flow-on effect will be awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's what the patriarchy doesn't want us to do. They don't want us to connect. They don't want us to start doing our own thing. They don't want us to form networks, which we totally need to do. Women need to put ourselves first, and
we need our networks.
Find each other.
We need our network. Yep.
I'm going to continue on with the speeches to the next one.
Hi, I'm Marcia Matthews, the author of Quandary, The Plight of Women Under Quackery. I'm going to read the table of contents topics. Chapter 1, Biology 101. The immune system is different in women and men. The skeleton, cells, and secondary characteristics are different. Chapter 2, Transitioning of children creates lifelong medical patients. Puberty blockers shut down the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Wrong sex hormone surgery, sterility, amputation of healthy organs, no sexual function, gradual wasting of the body. The suicide myth. In fact, more people commit suicide after transition than if they were left alone. Munchausen's by proxy. Some parents are eager to transition their children. Chapter 4, Wrong Thing. Transgender ideology. Quandary, the plight of women under quackery. Transitioning of children. Oh, I'm going on to chapter 4, Wrong Thing. Transgender ideology has spread throughout media and law. Newspeak has been handed down along with pronouns like Zer. New words have been introduced and we are mandated to say them. You could be doxxed. You could lose your position in the community. You could receive violent threats. You could be pulled from an airplane. Maya Forstater was fired over a tweet and awarded £106,000 for lost wages. You could be hauled in by police for a tweet. You could be no platform from debates, an artist talk, or a public appearance. Eventbrite canceled women's meetings at the last minute. Banks have canceled accounts. Twitter shadow bans gender-critical voices. The mysterious disappearing likes on J.K. Rowling's tweet. Chapter 6, gender-neutral bathrooms have more crime. Mixed-sex bathrooms are unfair to girls. Changing rooms need to be private. Voyeurs plant cameras on to spy on women and create cyber porn. Personal care is a human right for a woman or man to have care from her or his own sex. Refuges, women in domestic violence shelters, rape refuges, and homeless shelters should not be subjected to males, even if they identify as female. Hospital wards where women are unconscious or helpless. Men in women's prisons. Women confined with sex offenders who claim a special identity. It's not our crime. Chapter 8, Follow the Money. Who is financing this and who profits from this? Powerful families fund grants to organizations that discriminate against women. Chapter 9, Betrayal, LGB versus the QWERTY. Mermaids on Stonewall do not represent the LGB, so they formed their own group. Mermaids sued the LGBA and brought scrutiny upon themselves. Now they're being investigated by the Charity Commission. LGB Alliance won the suit, and they are allowed to still be a charity, but it took 2 years of dragging them through a tribunal that was unnecessary because mermaids did not have standing to challenge another charity's status. Chapter 11, Sports. Every sport women have has been colonized. These are just some of the topics in my book, Quandary, The Plight of Women Under Quackery. This book is being updated every day because there's a fresh outrage every day. Women are under siege. There is a war on women. There has been for a long time, but this is the high water mark of the war. Let's hope the tide will turn. We've got to take back our words and our rights and our spaces. Thank you.
Wasn't that an amazing speech by Arthur Matthews? I'm sorry, C.R. Matthews.
Brilliant.
I would buy that book, but she can never stop writing because there's always something new, a new chapter of troonery.
Troonery.
Quackery is what she called it. But
Fuckery.
Quackery.
Fuckery to take away your orgasm. We just want to keep fucking with you, but we don't want you ever to come.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I am.
It's true. It's what's happening.
No, because it keeps them, enslaved. Basically, it's like you're a consumer. You have to fill the gap, fill the void of not being able to have orgasms by buying more things and getting more medications. Perhaps it's like, oh well, the pharmaceutical and medical industrial complex will help you with that. Don't you worry. Just give us another 10 grand and we'll experiment some more.
Exactly, Kiki. Exactly. It's what they've done. They've taken away every boo-boo now is a DSM-3 category.
Yeah. Jesus. Yep.
You know, and we will keep you on. You know, I love those commercials that they have about pharmaceuticals where they'll say, take Verlexic unless you're allergic to Verlexic. And then they'll say, cause may be death, you know, I mean, byproduct or, you know, side effect may be death.
Right, it's
Suicide
like you're trying to cure a
tendencies.
cold, and they're like, "Here, it might give you a stroke, but here, it'll stop your cold."
It might give you a stroke, but then it could give you tachycardia, or you know, where they have the movements. So many depression medicines are giving you, but don't worry, we got a medicine for that too.
You'll be
So
more
that-
depressed. Just like if you cut your sex organs, you're gonna be more suicidal. I don't know how this is not non-brainery. Like, come on.
Yeah, but we have been stripped from our
Common sense.
the knowledge of our crones, the knowledge of our foremothers, the knowledge of nature, and we've been fed these, you know, Prozac and all this other stuff. Yeah. And told that, you know, like, don't worry, we'll fix you, and then we'll fix that too, and we'll fix that too, and we'll fix that too, and we'll fix
The
that
war
too.
on women is a war against nature, and we are the ones that embrace nature and what's natural. We are the source for
Yeah.
human beings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let's talk about the war on puberty.
Yes, they want to block their brain growth, their bones. I mean, they want them to be little children when they're adults, kind of, because they're pedophiles.
Permanent children.
Really love to stick people there.
I mean, for Gallagher to suddenly, like, what, just 2 months ago, was it, that she started presenting eunuchs? She's like, oh, these folks need some special treatment so that they can have all their shit removed. And, oh, I'm such a great surgeon because I'll go ahead and take off their belly button and take off their nipples and take everything, because that's what eunuchs.
There's nothing she won't do.
No, that's nullification. Never mind. I think that's nullification. Eunuchs are just, it's just take everything away, right? The balls or something.
Gallagher goes after even the cis people who want to have surgeries. I mean, she will sell you anything under the sun that she can construct and make up. This is why I'm going after her. She has no fucking limits. She will go after an obese child.
Yep.
And when are you going after her, VF?
Halloween.
That's right.
It's Halloween. I'm going back to Gallagher's office, and you are more than welcome to join me.
Ooh, okay.
Do it.
I'm going after her until she's like in prison.
And if you can't be there in person, then be there in spirit, and be there. We'll try to have like a
Stone, can you tell us about what you did to Gallagher in my behalf last time I went?
Well, I had I quite like dollies, and I redo them up, and if I have broken dollies, I fix them up. But I had a Gallagher dolly that I did a lovely binding on, and I've got this big dollhouse, and she's now binded in a cage that hangs off the dollhouse. So binded in barbed wire too, not just in black ribbon, but barbed wire too. So she's not going anywhere. We've got her.
That's where we want her.
We got her. So if she was in the new Barbie movie, she would be hanging off a creepy Barbie house.
Yeah, I think this woman's speech was really good too, because she went through going through the chapters. You see all the very different, things that
legally
we're dealing with,
prisons and sports. They're coming after our jobs. They really want women to go back into the kitchen and shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
And the right wing is totally on board with this because they're mad that feminism gave us some rights.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
They say they want to protect us, but they really just want us back in the kitchen, both sides.
Right. Absolutely.
It's so sad. They don't want to hear us speak. They will even debate what a woman is among each other, not inviting women to speak for ourselves.
I think that's where we have to look at who's doing the talking. Is it the men?
It has to be us. It is our voices that need to be elevated and respected and treated,
Yeah.
Like we can speak for ourselves. We don't need a man. The man's playing our own fucking reality. I mean, it's ridiculous what they're doing to us.
Right.
And I actually think that's something we've got to be a little bit careful of too, because that's, as a reenactor in my past, we did the Middle East, and the last thing we want is actually having to ask our men to chaperone us and be caught in that type of existence again. You know, like, I'm going out, my dear. Can you come shopping with me? I'm going to the toilet. Can you, make sure you got my back? Like, this is something that I think involving men we need to be careful of, because we don't want to give across that
that
we
power.
want to regress into that type of system where we're now, relying on men that we've given up our sisterhood of not being able to just go out with our friends that are women, clubbing or partying or whatever, and actually have to have men come with us to chaperone us. So I think, yes, it's great to have men step up to go, okay, I want to help out, but I don't think we should be asking them to do that. It has to be of their own free will.
They need to fight other men, okay?
Yeah.
They don't need to fight us.
Yes.
They need to go fight their brothers in our name.
Yeah, it needs to be on their own free will. We can't be asking for that. That leads a slippery trek right back into that sort of Muslim, fully covered existence.
Exactly. We do not want the patriarchy to take over completely and tell us how to live our lives as women.
The thing is, they're very sneaky, right? And it's not even sneaky. I think it's just nature. I think that's what happens. They they just come in and the like now wanted to make sure that it was not now the National Organization of Women in the United States of America, wanted so hard not to be perceived as lesbian that they let straight people in and then they let men in, and the same thing happened with HRC. I mean, HRC gave all this gave the power over to.
They were all bots, okay? Don't think any of these groups just
had all captured. They're all captured.
They got captured because they paid and they just sang the song and repeated the pronouns and
there's another that's something I want to talk about, because the thing is, we've got to keep ourselves really fluid and not become a hard organization that has a structure and then depends on money, because then we will be captured. We will be captured just the way that the gay liberation turned into acceptance and equality instead of liberation.
That's when your values are money. See, everyone can send me money and I'll put it to great use. Trust me, but I still be like, fuck you if you ask me to do stuff that is against women and girls. It's just
right. Meanwhile, we need money, and so like KJK does, we sell merch or something like that, or we do our yoga, or we do our Reiki, or we do our whatever, but we don't make it like getting money from the Pritzkers, and having, like these think tanks come in and roll all over us. Yeah.
No, I've had people try to take over my groups before. It's like impossible because I will never sell out. It's simple as that. I'm here for one reason, and that's to tell women how to say no.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
And prioritize ourselves. Like women need to prioritize our own selves.
Yes, and we need to,
doesn't matter.
And we need reality check. We need to say, no, you're not going to give me a better nose than God gave me, or that my parents gave me, or biology gave me. And no, I will not take your cosmetic surgery. And no, I will not take your come in and make these choices. These are not choices that I need to make. Every choice is not a choice. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd like to continue with our next agent, 007.
Stood in the freezing cold, last November at City Hall here in New York City, and I opened my mouth for the first time. As a woman and as a mother of a trans-identified child, no one was willing to listen to me until that day. Schools, therapists, doctors, former friends, legislators, trans activists, and even family members all just want me to shut up and get with the program. Well, I refuse. Why? because at my age, I know things. I know that you cannot cut off your sex organs and become the opposite sex any more than you can have surgery to sew on cat ears and a tail and become a cat. I know this. That's why we are Team Reality. I know that men do not belong in the ladies' room or in women's prisons, shelters, locker rooms, or athletic teams. I know that I was not a birthing parent or a chest feeder. I was certified as a La Leche League leader, and I know what a mother is and how she uses her female body to feed her babies. The official manual that I used as a leader was called The Womanly Art of Breastfeeding. Well, I just found out the latest edition to be released next year will be called The Art of Breastfeeding. If the words woman and womanly don't belong in a breastfeeding manual, where do they belong? I know that I gave birth to a girl. Teachers at her high school GSA club filled her head with lies. We are desperately working to keep her off wrong sex hormones and away from surgeons. This delusion is preventing her from living a happy life. She's sad because she can't find a boyfriend. Because yes, she likes men. Well, gee, if you call yourself a boy, straight men won't be interested. And yeah, gay men aren't into you because you're a woman, even though you call yourself a gay man. Finally, I know that kids need their parents, even when they're young adults. This queering of society and all its institutions is about separating children from their parents. Our society used to know these basic natural truths. I will keep on talking until they remember them. I will never shut my mouth and never get with the program.
Hi, I'm here to talk about how I spent Pride this year. I spent every day of June outside of Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg School of Public Health protesting Alan Walker, who wrote this book. Dr. Alan Walker wrote this called A Long Dark Shadow. Quote, minor attracted persons or minor attracted people in their pursuit of dignity. Dr. Walker's referring to pedophiles in their pursuit of dignity. In fact, Dr. Walker believes that pedophiles should be included under the queer umbrella and celebrated just like any other sexuality. Dr. Walker asserts that pedophiles are no different than a real sexuality because she claims that pedophiles know when they're young that they're fixated and that it persists. That same logic could be used to justify a sexuality to plants, to animals, or to dead bodies. It is not a sexuality if the other person involved, which needs to be a person, cannot consent back. That is not a sexuality. It has no place in Pride. There's no P in this acronym under the rainbow at all for pedophiles. And I was there protesting this pedophile advocate. Pedophile apologist really is not a strong enough word because this book is full of pedophile activism, pedophile advocacy. It is blatant. It is not hidden. She quotes 2 different pedophile organizations that she worked with to source the people, the pedophiles that she interviewed for this book. One of the organizations refuses to explicitly condemn sexual relations between adults and children, and that these are the people that she's trusting. She speaks in her intro about the fact that she has promised the pedophiles involved with writing this book that she will not paint them in a bad light, that she'll do their words justice. In fact, the dedication of her book, she wrote her book and dedicated it to, quote, those who accept themselves, those who accept others, or those who accept themselves, those who are working on it, and those who accept others even when it's hard. She's talking about pedophiles. This whole book is about accepting, normalizing, glorifying pedophilia. And I'm here because that's absolutely ridiculous. It's 2023. People forget that NAMBLA and PI, that was the 70s and 80s, and pedophiles didn't go anywhere. They're still here. They're still organizing. They're still active. And people are quieter. They're talking less about it than ever. And I have a huge problem with that, which is why I went to the streets. So I went during Pride to protest this woman, to protest the complete lack of safeguarding in this book. There's not one notion of maybe pedophiles lie. She believes that there's such a thing as a non-offending pedophile. And you want to think this is the point of queer theory, the point of this slippery slope of language. You want to believe, oh, of course, there's good people, good men, who would realize they're pedophiles and then decide, I would never touch a child. But how the hell do you qualify that? How do you ever know? Because the answer is you can't ever know. And that's the premise that this book should start with, that you can't ever know. And the idea that we should just believe pedophiles who pinky promise that they've never touched a kid, the fact that she thinks we should believe them is ridiculous. And so the second part of my speech is closely related to this because it's about grooming of society, queer theory, gender ideology, born and bred in queer theory, which is pedophile activism. It's all about pedophilia. It's all linked to sexuality and depravity, gross sexual depravity, men's public sexual depravity. So another topic very closely related to Dr. Alan Walker is a laughably unserious but seriously unsettling research study promoted by Prostasia, another pedophile advocacy organization that claims that pedophiles have a sexuality that leaves them predisposed to children, being attracted to children, abusing children. This pedophile advocacy organization that claims to be a child protection organization, just like Dr. Alan Walker was hired by Johns Hopkins University Moore Center for the Prevention of Child Sexual Abuse. They hired a Johns Hopkins University who John Money did all his work with gender ideology starting in Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins University hired a pedophile activist to stop pedophiles. In the same way, Prostasia claims to be a child protection organization. They did this study examining if higher pedophile thought suppression, pedophiles trying not to think about children, if that correlated with lower rates of them trying to seek help. They're trying to argue that the more pedophiles try to not think about children, that it stops them from getting help. In fact, they found that there was no correlation, but they did find a correlation between higher thought suppression and actively avoiding children, which you think that's great, right? Pedophiles who are actively trying to not think about this, actively avoid children more. Not according to the authors. They do not comment on the benefits of pedophiles actively avoiding children, but instead compare pedophiles to, quote, other sexual minority groups. Other sexual minority groups. As if being a pedophile is the same, just like Dr. Walker argues, is the same, is no different than any other sexuality. They conclude in this study that because gays and lesbians do not experience the same type of internalized stigmatization that pedophiles feel, it must mean that it's because pedophiles are more marginalized, rather than accept that pedophilia is not comparable to homosexuality or any sexuality. They go on to theorize that this means pedophiles should be given more acceptance, which by their own research would decrease the amount that pedophiles are trying to thought suppress and also decrease their active avoidance of children. In discussing these findings, the researchers suggest that pedophiles may be experiencing a golem effect. Again, we're here talking about lesbians and gays, bisexuals for pride, and yet these people who think pedophiles should be included in pride are waxing lyrical about a golem effect. Wasn't Golem a murderous a-hole who murdered his best friend the first second he stood something to gain from it? Right, but the golem effect, which is suggesting that a societal rejection can cause someone to become the monster that they are treated as anyway. However, they also propose an alternative suggestion based on their own and others' research that they claim is empirical, saying active avoidance of children represents a defense action. Defense of what, you ask? Surely they must be talking about defending children from the risk of being exposed to a pedophile with self-restraint issues, right? Wrong. The defense mechanisms are designed for two purposes, designated by these people and the pedophiles themselves. One, having their pedophile discovered. So actively avoiding children because they can't help themselves around children. Two, this is what was published in a, quote, peer-reviewed empirical evidence study about why pedophiles actively avoid children. Because, quote, forming a close relationship with a child that could ultimately be lost would be too painful.
To the pedophile.
If it was discovered that they are a pedophile who formed a close friendship with a child. And I want to say, are these people serious? Are they for real? But unfortunately, I've learned all too well, that they are seriously manipulative. The article I'm referring to, the study that I'm referring to, is incredibly reflective of the content of Dr. Walker's work. but it really barely scratches the surface of the content, the hell that's in this book that normalizes and glorifies pedophilia. This is the modern standard of academic peer-reviewed research about pedophilia. Clearly biased and thinly veiled pedophile activism presented in purposefully misleading language to minimize obvious safeguarding implications. The blatant contradictions between the results of their findings and the conclusions that they draw about those results only benefit one group of people, pedophiles and those who wish to enable them. This study and others like it are touted by one of the largest pedophile advocacy organizations as evidence-based research against harming innocent pedophiles in well-meaning attempts to protect children. This logic is completely inconsistent. It's very closely tied. Again, pedophiles, you can't delineate queer theory from pedophilia. Just like the same breach of logic, the inconsistency of logic of if gender is not based in sex, if your genitals have nothing to do with your gender, then why is everyone getting gender affirming surgeries on their genitals?
Good question.
Then if you are not a time ticking bomb, if you are not a predator just waiting that can't help to restrain themselves from touching children, why do you need strategies to resist offending? It does not make sense. It's asking normal people. It's a threshold asking normal people to ignore their common sense, ignore blatant red flags, your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And when it comes to safeguarding children, why would you ever risk it? There would never be a reason to let that feeling of something is wrong, I should step up, go. Which is why we're out here. We're out here protecting kids. The kids that will grow up to be gay and lesbians now that are losing their family, losing their partners, losing their community because of lies and misinformation. Thank you so much for everyone that let me come out. Everyone who showed up, you're all amazing. Thank you to everyone.
Awesome.
Now, didn't she just kill it? I mean, it's just so fucking horrible that we even have to celebrate a woman pointing this out. That a man can write a book. Well, a woman pretending to be a man can go on cheering on other men who are confessing that they have pedophile feelings.
Yep.
And they are the victims of society being cruel to them. Oh, heaven help the fucking pedophiles who are virtuous.
There's a difference between sexuality and paraphilia, and the blending of paraphilia into sexuality happened because they made it wrong to kink shame. They made it wrong to
bring back kink shaming.
Yeah, bring it back. Hashtag bring back kink shame, because it's shameful. It's shameful to do it publicly. Like if you have something private amongst adults, I think basically it comes down to consent too.
I'm not for consent. Because women consent to all kinds of brutal abuse in the word.
No, I'm not. You can't have consent if you're a child, and you can't have consent
for abuse. You can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you can't have consent if you're working from a place of brokenness, I don't know. Yeah.
Just like these consent forms that all these people sign, informed consent, when they can't even understand what they're signing, because nobody actually knows any of the details, and they're holding back so much of the reality. It's based on myth. That is not consent, okay?
Yeah.
That's manipulation. It's I forgot what the term is when they try to con you consent to something that you don't want to, just by confusing you.
Conflation, or something like that. But I know what you're saying. It's like, and they train us like they train us to click yes to everything now. Do you agree to these? You can't read it all, but you say yes because you want to get to the next step. So it's really, we have to fight that.
They even changed that, didn't they? It used to be agree, and now it's submit.
Yeah. Submit. You're right.
Yeah, submit. It used to be agree. You used to press agree, and now it's submit. It's like you will bend the knees, and
That's That's what
it's
they want.
it's Rumpelstiltskin law, you know, like you could have given away your firstborn child, you wouldn't know because you didn't read it.
Right.
Well, I'm moving on to the next speaker, which will be me. Unfortunately, I do get tongue-tied a lot, so please bear with my...
Breathe, girl, breathe.
I do. I gotta learn how to fucking breathe because I read these speeches I write and I'm so passionate about it, but it all comes out like...
I'm sure we have a Terf that can give voice instruction.
Yeah, I bet we do.
Let's put it out there.
It's just my energy. It's just I get wrapped up in it.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Oh my God. Joy always shuts the fucking house down.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Joy comes with a new topic every time and kills it. So seriously.
I love it.
Look at these brave women, you guys, standing in front of the United Nations. These organizations that were erected to protect us, to defend our rights, to ensure a future for our children, to ensure that we are not preyed upon by nefarious sources, have failed us at every level. They failed us on state levels, governmental levels, and it is now becoming worldwide. From the bottom, ground up. Woo! And thank you to all of our adult human males who have stood up for us, who stand in the line, who hold the line for us. We are together. We are united. Those who believe in reality, there is nothing that can separate us. We are together, and it is time from the bottom up that we restore order to the chaos. We're to tear down Babylon because that's what we're in. We can no longer trust places like the AMA, the American Medical Association, our school districts are training our children to lie to us, and they are socially transitioning children. It's time we say enough.
That's right.
Go next.
Bert's heated today.
All right, we got Vf555 up. ACL and for ACLU does hate women, absolutely. And the ACLU, we will be protesting in August in Washington D.C. August 11th, Washington D.C. We say the ACLU is no friend to women or children.
That's right.
That's right. Well, I would like to start to say I will add P. Wait, where's the mic here?
Yeah, you know, and big ups to
Apple. My dead body to the lesbian, gay, bisexual community. We do not need these other letters that have only promoted lies that have nothing to do with homosexuality. I'm here today to take back pride for lesbians, to end the indoctrination of children and the war on women's rights. Most importantly, I'm here to speak the truth about gender ideology and the harms to greater society. I would like to start with this fact that gender ideology was a failed concept created by PDO John Money, who conducted horrific experiments on children, believing that if we cosmetically and hormonally altered their bodies, they would happily live as members of the opposite sex. But the results of the cases of the twin brothers were forced by John Money into incestual role play and ultimately suicide. One of the brothers whose penis was mutilated and that was groomed into believing he was a girl. Now that same theory is now deemed life-saving trans healthcare, while the UN propaganda machine pushes full force to globalize this atrocity. We are here to say no more. Teach children ABCs, not trans, queer, confusion, and disembodiment. Woo! Woo! There's so much more at stake here than Orwell predicted in 1984. When he warned the party that controls language, controls thought, and has more powerful, love is never more powerful than a lie repeated a million times. There's obviously nothing more vital to human experience itself than the sex reality of the human reproduction. But if the government can convince you that men can get pregnant, lesbians are attracted to girl dick, and that biology itself doesn't exist, then they can tell you that up is down, war is peace, and then if you don't comply, it's hate speech. The further society drifts from truth, the more they hate those that speak it. That's why they hate us Terfs. Well, we are here to correct that and embrace the truth and protect
All that is sacred and stop the harm for this vicious, violent movement of misogyny, manipulation, and misinformation that's been media blackmailed through all corporations and global entities to the masses to gain the goals of depopulation, mind control, and destruction of civilization itself. We will not stand for sacrificing our children's healthy bodies in the name of gender-affirming care. We are not here to stand for grouping of children in schools that are geared for thoughts, limiting thoughts, and the message of questioning authority is hateful, and the belief that others must be respected, even when the claims that they make are disproven with their own eyes. Most of all, we will not tolerate these crimes against humanity that are being sold as trans rights. Men don't give birth, lesbians don't have penises, and there's no such thing as a child born in the wrong body. Thank you.
This right here is a young female.
Oh, well. You can all give me your critiques. I'll take it.
I love it. I love it. Accent rapid fire like a machine gun going off.
This goes on in my mind a lot faster than it comes out my mouth.
It's like bam, 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 bam. I love it.
I just stumble on my words, but
if we can channel your energy directly at this, we would have it smashed in no time.
I just need an army of Aries, man.
Yes, yes, laser pointer, laser pointer.
We'll continue on.
Experience. Yeah. This right here, it does not matter which body parts you cut off your body. It doesn't matter what you feel. Sex is a biological reality. Gender is a religious belief. We say no.
Hi, my name is Amy. I am a woman. How do I know that? My unique female experiences. I bled when I was younger. I orgasmed as a woman. I gestated 2 children. I birthed them. I fed them from my breast, not from my chest. Those are unique to women. Some women have the privilege of doing that.
You won't be in the
Others cannot, but we are women nonetheless.
Yes,
Unique experiences, our body parts make us women, something that men can never be. I pose it to you a series of questions.
I want to be up here. I like it.
How can a man, woman, boy, or girl
I'm just making sure
be certain they are in the wrong body when they have no actual physical or biological reference to being anyone other than who they are?
No, this is fun. I like that.
I ask you, why would you ever take a healthy body and make a lifelong medical patient out of it? There is only one answer. I'll let you come to it. Who is to gain here with this transition and this medicalization? I posit the financial motivations of big pharma, companies, hospitals, the wider medical industry may be at play. Onward. Why would you ever give a predator like a wolf sheep's clothing? Why would you let someone who doesn't have good intentions or you don't know their intentions into a restroom, a girls' locker room, women's sports, women's shelters, crisis centers, or prisons? Why make it easy? Why are so many teenagers exchanging their healthy bodies? For what will this quest? For what can this quest be achieved? Are young people being confused by the increase of porn, promiscuity, online love bombing, and quick fix solutions to loneliness and normal life struggles? What happens when everyone starts cutting off their body parts? Where does this take us as humans? Are we losing our ability to procreate? Are we in fact facilitating our own extinction? These are big questions. I ask you to think about it. I ask you to ask yourself to discuss with everyone you know. This is an important conversation for us all. There is something going on here that is a detriment to mankind in a very, very big way.
For those who may know me, may know that I'm the mother of 4 children.
I'm sorry. I like to break right now. What do you guys think?
I think she's on point.
Oh, of course. I mean, Amy was totally amazing. She's the mother of one of these children that unfortunately are captured into the cult, and she goes out and speaks at a lot of these events. Like so many of these women go to several of our fucking Terf events out of their own pocket, out of their own time, because they're passionate. They want to protect kids.
Yeah, get the message
I
out.
love
And
your
that's the only
passion.
way. Yeah. I also think it was really good.
Your mic as you're talking.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Now you can say your piece.
No, I was just saying we need that mother energy. I mean, that's a very powerful energy too. Yeah.
Mothers are women. I mean,
exactly.
It's important that we respect our mothers and mother state protectors of children. It's not that we hand them over to authority. We are the authority of our own children, just like we are the authority of what is a woman.
Of our bodies.
We need to pass down the natural that we know to our children and not like get bought into this idea that they're going to commit suicide because they have to hit puberty. We all went through puberty ourselves. It was a hard time for every girl, but we all survived, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the thing to say that things that are hard are things that you should avoid. What the fuck? What the fuck?
And it's only harder. You cutting yourself up.
You know, it's hard. Puberty is hard, so don't do it.
Well, wasn't that a bad Simpsons line? Wasn't it? Hard work make me quit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, like again, how do we improve anything if we don't get challenged? You know, things are hard.
We don't know how much we've been groomed as a society. We've been groomed for the past 30 years to become complacent, to
participation trophies. You can really be special because you have some pronouns. I mean, like it's ridiculous. People need to earn respect. People need to earn positions. You can't be a mediocre male and just be given what women had to work hard for. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I think we need to. I think HJ says we need to talk about porn. It's an essential piece to the puzzle. You know, the porn, which is a male industry. It's a male industry, and
it's instant gratification without having to have any female relationships. You know, like it's with yourself, and that's why they think they're their own girlfriends now. They mistaken their right hand for a relationship. Bad, pathetic.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's why there's so many incels. They just watch porn. They never leave the house. They have their left hand as a girlfriend.
So the right hand certainly doesn't know what the left hand's doing anymore.
That's the mistress. They have no communication skills. They don't know how to get women. They don't know how to impress a woman and like interact with normal human beings nowadays.
Well, it's also the vilification. It's the pornification. It's the pornification of female humans, and it's the vilification of male humans, like men. Like
I don't think being porn sick makes you a good guy.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm, you know, like there is no space or role model for
a positive male
healthy males. You know,
yeah, there needs to be.
It's all just like toxic masculinity. You know, and that's where men come in, and men must talk to men about doing away with this and bringing a model of positive masculinity, because this is also a war on heterosexuality and bisexuality. It's a war on nature. It's a war on
it's a war. Absolutely agree. It's a war on nature and universal law and truth.
Yeah, and law and truth, and they're sneaking it in as illness, because the medical model has grown so big. It's not even about healing anymore. It's just about you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. I'm going to fix you.
It's pop a pill, put it on a Band-Aid. That's it.
Yes.
Well, they need to put down the pornography and go outside.
There used to be a woman in New York City in the 90s who used to stand with a big sign, and I'm putting this out there because I'm trying to remember who she was, but she would just say, "Women fight back," and she had, pictures, like from these magazines, and they were horrid pictures, and I did not realize at that point how right she was, that it was having a terrible, because everybody was talking about sex positivity, and then sex became mistakenly merged with porn. Sex is not porn. Porn is not sex. But when you have, say what?
It's rape on tape.
Yeah. Rape on tape. Absolutely. Rape on tape. That's great. That's hashtag. We can't do that. We can't say hashtag rape on tape. I don't think.
I just did. Let's see how long my channel exists. I'm going to be pulled in a quick minute. I believe it, but I'm so glad you guys made it while it's still going.
It's a great launch, and you've had a great chat through the chat.
I think we should thank all these wonderful people who've showed up, like HJ and Chris and Little Cat Fee, and
yes, thank you all for being in the chat.
Marcia Matthews and Lady Cat. Yes, Chris Cintron and HJ, and you brought so many good points, and I want to do on my Not in Your Head Lesbian next. I want to do an expose on this guy Walker. Is it Alan Walker?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Totally.
Yeah. I hope the stream inspires a lot of women to go and speak out, and that's all.
And reach out too. Don't be afraid to reach out to other TERFs and say hello and make connections, because
that was about community unity.
Yeah, because one of the things that really changed my channel and the way that I TERF was VF reaching out to me. Like we've been mates for a long time now.
We're tag teammates across the world.
Yeah. So again, don't be. I get a little bit fangirl shy sometimes, but don't get fangirl shy. Reach out to your YouTubers. A lot of us are out there. We're willing to help. I've had somebody locally reach out to me that wanted me to go sit with their MP with them, and I've done that. So, if you're out and you can't get to a speaker's corner, reach out to one of us YouTubers. We'll help if we can.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm gonna hightail out of here because I've actually got yoga.
What time is it? What time is it there?
Okay, it's 1:38 p.m. in the afternoon, so coming up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've got my yoga with Rex this afternoon.
Okay, you go off and do your yoga.
I'm a bit addicted to it, I must say. I do like to be there.
Well, I'm going to continue on and watch the rest of our speeches.
All right, well,
I have 2 boys and 2 girls. I spent many years of my early life working with mothers, working with women from between the Philippines, I started my journey here in New York, actually, and so now it's come full circle that I've had to come back after helping young women deliver their babies safely. Now to come back to redefine what exactly is a woman, and it feels insane. A woman left a comment on my channel not too long ago where she talked about her peak moment. And for those who don't know, peaking is that moment. Peak trans is that moment where all of a sudden it feels like the wool's been lifted off your eyes. And for all of a sudden it's like, what the hell have I been acquiescing to? What have I been agreeing to? My God. And it's like truth after truth starts just piling up. And everything that you've been told and everything that you've been conditioned to believe, suddenly nothing makes sense anymore and it all feels insane. That's peak trans. When the chaos and the insanity that you've been in this haze believing for so long finally reveals itself as the insanity that it is. I had a woman leave a message about what her peak trans moment was. She said she went in with her little girl, her 5-year-old daughter, into a bathroom. Shortly thereafter, a large man entered after them. He identified as trans. What is different between him and any other man going into the men's room?
That's right.
It's that the men going into the men's room have a little more integrity. I would rather be naked in front of a man who will choose to go into the men's room than in front of one who would choose to go into the women's room, because a man who will go into the men's room respects the rights, dignity, and privacy of women, and I would take my chances.
That's
with
right. Yeah. Great job, Brett. That was awesome.
This woman said that a man followed them in, and her little daughter, shaking in voice, looked up to her and said, "Mommy, why is he in here?"
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, she knew, she goes, "I know that this is what they want me to do. They want me to turn and look at my daughter, look her in the eye and say, you know what, honey? Some women have penises. Some women are hulking 6'7" tall. Some women have a grip strength that is 100 times any natal woman. And that's okay, because you know what, honey? You just be nice and you say okay." You know what happens when little girls just be nice, say okay? They find themselves going along with things that they don't fully understand. Do you know what happens when we train and condition little girls to look up at grown men and feel that it is the weight of their responsibility to feel empathetic for him? That is their job to include him. That they aren't to say no. And if he tells them something, to believe them. What if he says, "Don't tell your mom"? Should she say no then? Should we expect a 5-year-old little girl to know the difference between what is something she should go along with a paraphilic male and what is something that she should say no to? It is a massive safeguarding failure. As Vanessa Vokey said, only perverts lie to kids about sex and human anatomy. Only perverts. Who the hell are you if you are going to sit there and tell a child some women have penises?
Yeah.
Avert your eyes. Don't say no. You know what I decided when I had my first daughter? I started off with 2 sons. I was a boy mom. My job was hard in some ways and a little bit easier in some ways. After I had daughters, I realized I had different things to think about. I had some different things to think about. And my sons, I raised them to be really polite as best as I could. You know, don't be too difficult. Be easygoing, be kind. I realized with my daughters, I don't want to raise polite daughters. In fact, I don't think that I can afford to raise a polite daughter.
Right.
I would rather my daughter be alive and safe and know how to say no and know how to say, "Get the fuck away from me," when it's time to say, "Get the fuck away from me," than to be polite, than to just be kind. We are failing children across this nation and across this world. Especially little girls. Especially little girls. Especially autistic children.
Yes.
Especially neurodivergent children. The most vulnerable amongst us. When we tell them, "You don't have the right to say no to the creepy Uncle John who's following you into the bathroom and who wants to fucking readjust his fake tits." Raise your children to be impolite.
Yep.
I'm raising mine to be impolite.
Yes.
We won't just be kind. We won't just acquiesce. And again, once again, in the words of Vanessa Vokey, we will not respect your pronouns. Why?
because pronouns are
Overhead now, they try to numb your senses, because if you can't tell it's a man in a dress,
you must make contact
lenses.
And to all the Terfs worldwide who are watching us, we feel you. We invoke you. The spirit of our grandmothers is with us. You are with us. You are why we stand. We stand on the shoulders of giants today. We will not give up our hard-fought life. We will fight. I will pave this street in blood before I hand my children over to be mutilated by this fucked up, disgusting pedophilic system.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely, Brittany.
Oh my God, I love Bert's
Do we have
energy.
anybody else?
All right, so what we're gonna do, so I'm so grateful that we had an opportunity for all these brilliant, courageous, unwavering adult human females and an adult human. And give it up for Marcus for standing for us and holding the line to our brothers, our fathers, our husbands, our sons, the men who don't want to sit there and watch us get bullied, watch us get pushed, watch us disrespected, and who hold the line in powerful silence, arm in arm with us. We thank you. We see you. We appreciate you. Thank you for stepping down and letting us speak.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
This was awesome.
We are, now that we got to have our nice little polite gathering, we do hope to stir up some more shit. And we will be back in tune soon. So from our Terf Nation to yours, we love you guys. We thank you. And I want to give one more shout out to Vf555. We stand with our lesbian sisters. This is the first annual Terf Pride. We will be back year after year and watch this shit snowball.
Yeah. 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 Whew.
Okay, ladies. Well, we made it all the way to the end of our video.
But wait, I want to talk about a few of these comments because there's a little cat feet that says, remember the TRA who said the little girls shouldn't be looking at grown men and that because they're not all princesses. He said it was on a Twitter thing. He said all little girls are not princesses and kids have sexual things and little girls have might like the men in the toilets. That was
no. Kids do not like the men in the toilets.
No, I know, but that was.
I know. That's what he said. But
yeah.
Go against these messages. It's insanity.
Yeah. It's insanity. But it was Vinod. I think it was his last name was Vade Minaj.
Yeah, I know who you were talking about. That creep.
Minaj.
Yeah, we need to stop listening to these creeps. We need to start listening to women.
He is a creep, and he needs to be called out as a creep.
Well, he needs to go to prison, actually.
Yes,
it's up to me, 6 feet under. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Let them rebury themselves.
Don't be like the perverts.
Yes.
Stay loud, stay proud. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, VF, for doing this. And congratulations on your channel. And
thank you so much for joining me in this journey. Take care.
Bye. Stay strong.
Stay long, everybody.
And we're out.